Hi there, folks, it's Zach, and welcome back to my Star Wars tips and tricks section. Today we're talking about the light side versus dark side event. This comes out next Tuesday on June 28th, and once that happens, there's going to be a lot of players who are really angry about it, and some players who are really excited about it. There's really no middle ground. My guide here today is to help returning players, people like me who have a lot of tunes and a lot of resources and a lot of time invested in this game, get through this event as painlessly and as quickly as possible with as minimal effort put forth to get the rewards that we're looking for. So before you even get started with your prep work, guys, decide in advance what reward is it that I'm looking for out of this event. Once you have picked that out, that will determine your level of commitment to it and make you much happier towards working towards that goal. If all you're looking for is, say, the Satil Shan armor set, or the Revan Reborn armor set, or the Arbiter's lightsaber, something that comes out of the light side versus dark side packs, there is the potential that you may get that early on from just one of the early tier level packs. There's a chance. I'm not sure how good it is, but there is that chance. And if it arrives, you should just be able to just wash your hands and say, okay, I'm good. I don't need to step forward and do any more to this. I've got what it is that I'm looking for. If you are looking for one of the companions, you are going to have to put forth a little bit of effort. At the very least, I've written this guide so it works all the way up to legendary, but if you're only looking to get a few packs and a few pieces of gear, then really all you need to do is get to about level 50 with one character. If you are looking to get more of the rewards, then you do need to commit a little bit more time. So just know in advance what it is you're looking for and start from there. Don't just start the event and try to tackle every objective. That will drive you nuts. All right, let's talk about the actual objectives here. Here you can see I've posted up levels 1 through 25 and the objectives that I feel are very attainable per tier that you can do during that leveling process. For heroic objectives, all you need to do is level up 1 to 25, and once you hit 25, you get the light side and dark side packs as the reward for meeting that level. So that's all you need to do, and that tiered objective is done once you hit level 25. During the 1 through level 25 process, you can also tackle the legacy objectives for Flashpoint Responder, which is just playing through the SLS or the Black Talon at level 10, doing the tactical version, and doing these just naturally happens as you are going through the story anyway. Also, you can tackle some of the Valiant objectives. If you want, at level 10, on the fleet, you can go ahead and purchase your house and complete that quest objective for the Valiant tier set. For the Champion objectives, you can go ahead and do some of the Flashpoint Expert aspects for the tier. You can do Hammer Station and Aethys in tactical mode, and technically you can do any flashpoint you want at this point for the champion objectives, but I recommend just sticking to Hammer Station and Aethys and then just crossing those off your list. A lot of the other flashpoints that are available are actually a natural part of the Shadow of Revan storyline. If you're looking to go all the way up through champion objectives anyway, then you are looking to get a character up through level 65, and these will naturally happen as part of the story later, so I just recommend doing them then. For the Eternal objectives, you don't need to worry about anything about that in levels 1 through 25. But for your Legendary objectives, there's actually a few you can tackle right off the gate. You can do Ruthless Efficiency. If you're a returning player and you already have HK, simply drop down 350 cartel coins in your Legacy menu at level 1, and now you have HK51 as a companion, and you've completed one of your Legendary objectives. Also, at level 10, you can start doing Ace Starfighter. Ace Starfighter is very easy. You just queue up for it. You don't need any special gear or equipment. You can just go ahead and get it done. You can also tackle on some of your Valor achievements. The great thing about Valor and PvP is it will break up some of the leveling process at that time. And last but not least, I would recommend that if you are looking to get legendary objectives done, then also start your gathering skill on this particular character, and also keep an eye out for any of the special events. The only one that you can complete during 1 through 25 leveling process is Manhunter, and that one is the bounty contract event. You have to do 3 bounty contracts in 3 days, and that begins at level 15. Moving on, let's talk about levels 25 through 50. If you're looking to complete the heroic tier, guess what? You've already done it. If you're looking to complete the legacy tier, then I would recommend doing the Story Continues achievement, which is just reaching level 50. And while you are doing that, go ahead and tackle the Flashpoint Responder missions. And this is as either a Republic character or an Imperial character, picking the right Revan flashpoints. So that's Terrell 5 and the Maelstrom Prison if you're a Republic character, and Boarding Party and the Foundry if you are an Imperial character. You only need to complete one or the other for this tier for legacy objectives. So if you're a Republic character, all you need is Terrell 5 and Maelstrom Prison, and then that achievement's done. And then for the second character that you do, you don't need to worry about that at all. For your Valiant objectives, there's nothing you can complete here, but is actually a champion objective you can do. For Flashpoint Expert, I recommend going ahead and finishing up Kata Mimu, the Red Reaper, the Battle of Elam, Kuat Drive Yards, Directive 7, Circuit Corporate Labs, Mando Raiders, the the False Emperor, and Circuit Core Meltdown. Just go ahead and get those done. You have a long leveling range here. With an experience buff and some tactical flashpoints, that's going to go really, really quick. A lot of people will be queuing up for those during these events. They're kind of fun to do, and this is a great spot for them because they don't really fit into any other part of the story. For Eternal objectives, you don't need to worry about anything. And if you're looking to complete some Legendary objectives, there's two you can go after for sure. Giant Killer, which is going after the Rogue Cartel Warbot on Quesh, which is a world boss, and the Snowblind world boss on Hoth. You can also do Olgo Siegebreaker on Alderaan. Also, while you're on planets leveling, keep an eye out while you're on Elam, Nar Shaddaa, Voss for the new Datacrons that are there. Lastly, if these events are available, go ahead and tackle Living Plague and Plague Bearer, which are the two Rakul events. The earliest you can partake in the Rakul events is level 20, and that fits very well into that part of the leveling process. Alright guys, for 50 to 55 it's a very small bite, and please note Makeb is not anywhere listed here as something you have to do for any tier whatsoever. It's the only expansion like that. So for Valiant Eternal, don't even worry about them. For Champion objectives, this might be a great time to queue up for some PvP. Do a few war zones, do some matches, get those PvP ranks up to where they need to be to go ahead and finish that achievement. Also for Legendary, man, you could go ahead and tackle Giant Killer right now, group up, kill the Primal Destroyer on Balsavis. You could do Collector, grab the two Datacrons that are on Makeb and Oricon. Or if you want and you're feeling pretty good, level 50 is when you can start queuing up for story mode ops, and you can go ahead and go after the Dragon Slayer title, or not title, the Dragon Slayer achievement. Or you could wait until Endgame. It's up to you guys what you're more comfortable with. If you're okay with story modes, you can start doing them now. If you want to wait till Endgame with a good group, you can do it then. Levels 55 through 60 are where things really start picking up again. But the cool thing is, guys, if you're leveling up 1 through 60, or 1 through 65 with the storyline, then there's a lot of things here that happen naturally with the story that will tackle some of these objectives for you, if you plan ahead. For your Valiant objectives, go ahead and for the achievement of Revan, go ahead and complete the Shadow of Revan Prelude. It's not actually a literal objective for the achievement in the Valiant tier, but it is extremely helpful, and it will earn you 297 data crystals, common data crystals, at the end of it. It's not 100% required, but it is extremely helpful and will help reimburse some of the data crystal cost of your gear that you've been putting together. Also, you can go ahead and complete the Shadow of Revan and actually do that part of the storyline. Because if you do, you can also get the option of doing some of the flashpoints for there, and instead of doing them solo, choose to do them tactically, and that tackles up the second objectives for champion objectives. For Flashpoint Expert, if you do the tactical versions of Korriban Incursion, Depths of Manan, Assault on Tython, and Legacy of the Rakata as they happen in the Prelude section, then you only have to do them once, you get them done with a group, and you complete the champion objective all at the same time. Same thing with Flashpoint Expert. Once you reach the part in the story where you're doing the Battle of Rishi and Blood Hunt, it's a good idea to go ahead and just queue up for a tactical for those particular events right then and there. And that way, you're tackling two birds with one stone in the same spot in the story. And that's also why I recommend not doing them sooner than that. That way you don't have to do that whole event twice. For Eternal, there's still nothing you can do here, but for Legendary, this is a great chance, because you'll be the right level now, to go to Oricon and just kill 50 NPCs. Doesn't matter who they are, just kill them. For Giant Killer, you can join up with a group and go ahead and kill the Worldbreaker Monolith on Zeost. It's very easy. You can also be tackling the Zeost storyline at the same time, and if you're looking to complete Big Earner from the Legendary objectives, then you can go ahead and do that. Big Earner, you just need to earn 1 million credits, and you'll probably have earned 1 million credits by this point in the storyline anyway. Alright guys, at level 60 through 65, things pick up again, but don't be fooled by the size of this page. A lot of these things happen naturally as a part of the Knights of the Fallen Empire expansion. So your Valiant objective is to go ahead and complete the Outlander, which is chapters 1 through 9 of Knights of the Fallen Empire. Easy peasy, by the time you hit chapter 7, you'll already be level 65. Your champion objectives are to go ahead and complete the rest of Knights of the Fallen Empire thus far, which is chapters 10 through 16. And it's also to do building alliances, which is where you recruit alliance members. They'll give you automatically the quest to do Yoon and grab him and pick him up. I'm not sure why. I don't really find Yoon all that interesting, but whatever. I'm not sure he actually counts towards the 5 alert recruitment table. So I would recommend at least these two. Grab Nico Okar and grab Bodar. You're going to have to do the Eternal Championship anyway if you're looking to go up to the Eternal tier, and that makes grabbing Bodar extremely easy. And doing his quest objectives also are very easy. They all happen in the same place. And Nico Okar also is in that exact same bar you'd pick up Bodar, and all you have to do is mix him a drink. Alright, for your Eternal objectives, this is where you'll complete at level 65, one or the other. You'll either finish up Republic if you leveled up as a Republic toon, or you'll finish up Imperial if you finish as an Imperial toon. If you are looking to finish up the Eternal tier, you will need one of each to complete that. So on your first run, only half of this objective will be done. But that's okay. You know, if you're going for Eternal or Legendary, you kind of know this in advance and you're cool with it. If you're not going all the way up to Eternal objective, then you're not really looking for this anyway. It's not a big deal. Next up, your Legendary objective. Now that you've done Knights of the Fallen Empire and you have your Alliance base, you can go ahead and complete Big Spender, which is to purchase the Stronghold decoration from, I can't pronounce his name, Guerheri Nekor in the Alliance camp headquarters. Alright guys, this brings us to the end game. So this is what I'm talking about as level 65. These are the objectives that I recommend you complete once you are at level 65. So, first up, Eternal Contender. In the Eternal tier, all you have to do is defeat Lanos in the Eternal Championship. He is the 5th guy you fight. He's a very easy fight, and that's as far as you need to go. And while you're in there, you might as well just go all the way to the end and beat SWTOR as well, and that'll take care of one of your legendary objectives, the Eternal Championship. And that's it. That's Eternal tier. You're done. Okay, you've done everything else for it. You're good to go. For legendary objectives, this is the bulk of where people have their complaints, guys. If you have gone thus far and are good with the prizes that you've got, I would say you don't need to do any of really of these legendary objectives. If there's still prizes that you're looking for, this is the bulk and the meat of where people are really aggravated about. So just bear with me. I'm going to talk about these. Some of these are not as bad as they sound. Some of them are very bad. Here we go. Dragon Slayer. All you got to do is defeat 5 operations bosses. You don't need to finish the whole raid that they're in, except for Karaga, because he's the last boss there. All you need to do is beat the boss. If you have a good guild, I would put a group together and tackle Dragon Slayer together. And just know, hey, this is how far we're going to go in on this raid. Maybe we'll go all the way, maybe we won't, but we're doing it for this particular tiered event for Legendary. For Flashpoint Master, I recommend doing the same thing. Take that same trusted group of 8 people and do the hard mode Flashpoints. And you got to do all of them. This one's kind of a time-intensive one, especially in hard mode. Depending on gear level, depending on experience level, my best recommendation, if you're a returning player, bring the best gear you've got available, bring the best guildmates that you have, and if they're looking to complete this too, they'll be highly motivated to do it with you. We already talked about Eternal Championship for the Legendary tier. For Merciless and Righteous, as best as I've got this figured out, you can complete this on one character. As you level up, make sure that you get all the way up to rank 5 on one character, and that means 10,000 light side or dark side points. Once you've hit 10,000, immediately do a turnaround. As long as you pick Diplomacy as their specialty skill, then you can farm the opposite faction points then, and all you got to do is get to 10,000. And there's a lot of daily quests that you can do that will let you spam light side and dark side choices to get the rest of the way there. That one can take a while. The other thing you could do is just level up your secondary character and do it on them. That actually might be a little bit easier. For crafting Virtuoso, this one is one I do believe you can get done on one character as well. And here's how you do it. What you're going to want to do is take your very first character that you make and say take Biochem. Level that all the way up to 550, And then once you have, you simply delete that skill and you start over again on your next one. It doesn't say you have to do this on 8 different characters, it just says you have to do it 8 times. If you have all 8 crafters already, then you probably have all these materials ready to roll. What you're going to do is you're going to take a character and you're just going to learn bonded attachments. And as you learn those bonded attachments, that's all you're going to invest into. Don't buy any other skills, don't learn how to make and craft anything else. If you already have all your 8 crafters, you don't need to anyway. And then once that character has reached max level, then delete that skill and move on to the next one. All right, and on my next slide, I'll go over the last part, which is the one that is really probably aggravating people the most. But as you can see, most of the legendary objectives are fairly doable, and most of them are doable on a single character. Really just merciless and crafting virtuoso, I kind of leave into your hands. The other ones are definitely doable on a single character. Last but not least, guys, is the final objective for Legendary, which is Alliance Hero, and this is having all 8 character classes. So if you've already done 2 characters to get all the way up through Eternal, then really all you need is the last 6 at level 50. And by this point, you'll have the full set of XP leveling gear. It's up to you if you want to do this one, guys. That is a major investment of time, even just doing 1 through level 50. So know ahead of time what it is you're looking for, and then you can make the decision whether you want to do this.